I'm delighted to introduce our guest speaker, CU journalism alumna Savannah Sellers, class of 2013. 6 years ago, she was sitting in Mackey Auditorium waiting to come across the stage and receive her diploma cover. Now Savannah is a correspondent for NBC and MSNBC and is co-host of Stay Tuned, NBC's news show on Snapchat and Instagram. Savannah was in News Team Boulder her last semester, and I still think I have some copies of that, and we can talk about that after the ceremony. And she was known at that time for setting her sights on a goal and figuring out how to get there. We're thrilled to have her with us today to share her insight. Please join me in welcoming our very own Savannah Sellers to the podium.
What's up, CMCI? You guys are my people. Thank you, Steve, for that sweet introduction. He was a dean while I was here 6 years ago, so I sort of already feel like I'm gonna cry that you just announced me for anything. I'm so honored to be speaking today. I was so honored to be speaking yesterday. For those of you who were there, thank you for sticking with me through the snow, and thank you for not nailing me with any snowballs. That was very sweet of you. In the interest of preventing hypothermia yesterday, I cut down my speech, and they have very sweetly asked me to give the full version. So apologies for the things that you have already heard. Some of you might have been a couple drinks in, distracted by the snowball, so maybe it will feel like the first time. I sort of feel like a stand-up repeating the same jokes, which is a little awkward, so please laugh again. So, it's true, I am 27 years old, and I was invited here today to share with you all the wisdom of the ages. And the truth is, as you probably know, I can't give you the wisdom of all ages, but I can give you the wisdom of our ages, 21 through 27. If you want to know what the first 6 years after you graduate from college are like and how to survive them, you should perk up for this part of the program, because I'm here with the tea. And I'm really good at giving advice, so prepare yourself. For example, when I was asked to give this commencement address, I advised myself to do the following things in this exact order. Number 1, call mom and dad, scream, cry together. Number 2, have a panic attack, somewhere between moderate and severe, totally up to you, repeat as desired. Number 3, say yes. Worst case scenario, you'll embarrass yourself in a way that's permanent on the internet. It's fine, you'll be fine. Number 4, reward yourself by ordering New York's finest, Domino's, eating the entire pizza with a side of ranch and garlic sauce yourself. After that, I found that Googling helps. I found Kurt Vonnegut's commencement speech. He said, if I could offer you only one tip for the future, sunscreen would be it, which, I mean, fair. Oprah gave one where she said, failure is just life trying to move us in another direction, which is easy to say if you are Oprah. Stephen Colbert made the point that if we all followed our first dreams, the world would be ruled by cowboys and princesses. Which, let's be honest, is sort of what's happening now. Let's just say I watched and read a lot of these, and there are some key themes that come through. Just about everyone tries to convince the graduates that they should chase their dreams no matter what. And I agree with that, and you should. But what's missing from that advice is what I want to focus on today. Yes, chase your dreams. But just to be clear, chasing your dreams is often going to feel like a nightmare. A freaking nightmare. Chasing dreams for me has been learning to respond to the previous assistant's name. It took one boss a couple months to learn my name is not Courtney. Chasing dreams has been ordering hundreds of the tuna and greens sandwich for my boss, where I was asked to hold the greens and the bread, so that is just a pile of tuna. Chasing dreams has been feeling really, really trapped and like I maybe messed everything up. But the thing is, when things are feeling really tedious and frustrating, even hopeless, those are not signs you're on the wrong path. They're signs you're on the right path. Here's what it comes down to. You're about to be college graduates, and I'm sure you've all got dreams you're ready to chase. One of the things you're gonna find in life is that if your dreams are relatively easy to achieve, they might not be big enough. The flip side of that is that if you are dreaming big enough, chasing your dream is going to be hard. It means your journey is going to have a lot of missteps and dead ends, a lot of near wins and hard losses. It will be scary and make you question if it's possible and induce meltdowns. And sometimes it might even make you wish you wanted something different for your life. But listen, I didn't come here today to give you some real talk and then leave you hanging. If there's one thing I've learned over the past 6 years, it's that success depends on how well you cope with what's hard. So I've got some tips for you about how to do that. Learn through trial and error and error and error. Tip number 1, when the imposter syndrome knocks on your door, punch it in the face. Imposter syndrome is the inner voice that says, you shouldn't be here, you can't do it, you aren't good enough, you aren't old enough, you aren't smart enough or experienced enough. Sometimes you'll even hear it out loud from others, like the media executive who told me that it was ridiculous that I was asked to deliver this commencement address at my alma mater. I'm not sure if this landed yesterday, but I'm gonna say it anyway because this is genuinely how I imagine my imposter syndrome, like that creepy booger from the Mucinex commercial in the too small tank top. And you just wanna be like, dude, shut up and move on with your life. It's so easy to listen to that voice, and it's so easy to think that it's telling you the truth. I had the opportunity to interview former Vice President Joe Biden for NBC. The imposter syndrome guy was so loud that day that I literally threw up in the Today Show bathroom right before we started. I knew I was going to ask the mandatory questions of a former vice president, but I also just thought I wanted to know, and maybe everyone wanted to know, what he really thought about all those Obama-Biden memes. But I almost didn't ask that. I thought, people won't take me seriously if I do. People will think, of course she asked that, she's the Snapchat girl, or she's so young. That was the imposter syndrome trying to throw me off my game. I ignored that voice, and I took my time getting the former VP on the record about DACA and the current administration, and then I handed him an iPad full of Obama-Biden memes. And the VP laughed and went through every single one with me and revealed a part of himself that the public rarely sees. That part of the interview is what got the biggest response, because that moment was unexpected, and it came about because I was true to myself. I want you to enter the world knowing that your age and whatever else is unique about you can be your superpower. You guys are entering a world where young people are the ones making the things we use, building companies from the ground up, changing the narrative in Washington, D.C., and creating completely new forms of technology that inform how the world works. And you also have permission to dream your dreams at any age, and I'm here to tell you, you can get there faster than other people say you can. When you doubt that, that's the imposter syndrome. And here's a little secret. It can't ever really be entirely killed, but it can be managed. Don't ever let it stop you, and don't ever trust what it's telling you. Tip number 2, find a corporate side hustle. No matter where you end up, I highly recommend you try to work at a place where you can see what you want to be. For me, that meant I could have been cleaning the floors at 30 Rock. It didn't matter, because I was at NBC News. I could see what I wanted to be, and I could try to make it happen. Let me give you an example. One of my first jobs was as an executive assistant at MSNBC. I knew I wanted to be a reporter, and though the jobs was mostly about coffee runs and scheduling meetings, I could see what the people with my dream jobs were doing. I learned how it worked, I learned what it would take. So I worked on a side hustle. At first, that meant doing some things a lot of other people did not want to do, like working on digital projects no one liked and web series going absolutely nowhere. Eventually, I learned that the weekend team was often short-staffed and needed some extra reporting help. And boy, did I raise my hand for that opportunity. And I was ready and willing to do whatever was asked, like work all of the days. Over time, I started to have 2 clearly defined roles at the company. On the weekends, I was the new girl reporter, grouped in with the other correspondents. I was one of them. But by Monday, I was back to Savannah the assistant. No, my name's not Courtney, no bread with the tuna. But in time, the side hustle became the main hustle. I became Savannah the reporter, Savannah the co-host. And it never would have happened if I hadn't worked really hard to find opportunities not listed in my job description. All right, tip number 3. When your dream is feeling like a nightmare, you're gonna need help. You need the good people you got in your life, your family and your friends. It's the friendships in your life that make chasing your dreams sustainable, and they make the nightmare moments bearable. Now, as I mentioned yesterday, my dad did not buy me a spot on the USC crew team or the Georgetown tennis team or pay someone to take my SAT, thank goodness. But he did get me out of Willville and into Farrand. He's just that guy that figures that kind of stuff out. And thank goodness he did, because that meant that I met Paige DePaulis, my random roommate freshman year, who I still live with, except instead of the second floor of Farrand, it's an apartment in Manhattan. I think we're common law married now, and we live with our other best friend and Chi Omega sister, Kelsey McWilliams, also right over there. This, among other things, probably makes me the only commencement speaker in America who still has 2 roommates. We talk about all the real stuff going on. Between them and my sister Riley, who's also a buff and with us in New York, we're pretty much always discussing which one of us is going through a quarter-life crisis, which, by the way, is a thing. You've got to have that circle of people around you so that when it's hard, you're not fighting alone. I pretty much have regularly scheduled meltdowns, and I have those friends, and I have a therapist. I was just in another one of my best friend and sorority sisters' weddings this past year. And sadly, just a couple months after that, I stood with that same best friend at her younger brother's funeral. I think a lot of you guys in here I've heard were friends with Danny Geiger. And Danny would have been graduating in the stadium yesterday, but God called him home a little earlier than we were all expecting. We can all take some lessons from Danny. He lived the life he wanted, he created it for himself, and Danny was that guy that knew everyone and invested in everyone. He loved the people around him hard. The people around you will sweeten your victories because they're there to celebrate, and they'll soften your defeats because they're there to comfort you. Make the effort with them, and make the effort with people in your life that still matter to you now. My 2 best friends from home surprised me for this speech. Things like that mean a lot. Let them be a part of your story. Okay, tip number 4. When you can find meaning in the work you're doing, your dreams will shift in ways you didn't anticipate. My dream has always been to do the news. It wasn't until this specific role that a new dimension of that dream was revealed to me. I found that my favorite part of my job, better than any rush I get from live TV or celebrity I'm lucky enough to interview, is when young viewers of our Snapchat show stop me to say they never watched the news before they found Stay Tuned. They didn't have an interest until they found someone who spoke to them in a way they appreciated and could follow and made them feel okay to not know everything. I've had teachers download Snapchat just to message me to thank me because their social studies class knew about the crisis in Myanmar because of our show. You will love your job and your life more when you get to a place where you're proud of the difference it's making in the world. We're not all going to run a charity or perform brain surgery, but we can all do good in the career path meant for us. Okay, my last tip is my favorite, and I'm still working on it. Tip number 5, remember when you wanted what you have right now. This is honestly one of the only things that makes me feel better when I'm feeling stuck. There's nothing like pursuing your dreams to make you forget how much you've achieved along the way. And there's always going to be the next thing that you're going to pray for and think, as soon as I have that, that's when I'll be happy. 2 years ago, when someone said to me, you're going to host your own news show on Snapchat, I thought, this is it, I've made it. I can be done now. A year ago, when someone said to me, you're going to start reporting for the Today Show, I thought, no, now I've made it. And yet a lot of days I still find myself wondering what's next. We're always challenging ourselves for an encore. And to an extent, that's good and motivating and ambitious, but every now and then, you gotta tap the brakes and enjoy the present. Call your parents, make time for your friends, eat a cheeseburger, have some wine, have lots of wine. And remember, when what you've got is all you thought you could ever want. That can start today by remembering when all you wanted was for school to be over, no more homework and no more finals, and you guys did it. Also, quickly, can we talk about how great Caroline was in her student speech? Class of 2019, congratulations, go out and do big things. I cannot wait to watch. Give them hell, and don't forget to wear sunscreen. Thank you.